All right, so there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of question marks about what the Jets need to do at the quarterback position, because the entire plan was to bring on Aaron Rodgers, save the team, take them to the playoffs for the first time in a long time, maybe a Super Bowl, and that has not happened for a lot of reasons. So with a new head coach and Aaron Glenn, do they keep Aaron Rodgers? Do they move on? Here's more from Glenn on the topic. Take a listen.
Will Aaron Rodgers be your quarterback?
You're going to continue to ask me the same question and get the same answer. We're still in evaluation mode. So for anybody else going to ask that, I'm going to give you the same answer. So don't waste your time. Clear.
Well, let's answer that. What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner. A winner with mental and physical toughness. You're not going to get me.
But let me ask you this. Parcells, I know you guys are close. He always
That's
said...
Parcells.
Okay.
I'm Aaron Glenn.
All right, so kind of a spicy interview there. Let's welcome on Pete Prisco, because Pete, not only the Jets, but there's a handful of NFL teams that have some question marks when it comes to the quarterback position and what should they do? Should they draft one, sign one, stay put? And we are starting with the Jets, of course. Aaron Glenn, he's not messing around. He's saying they're still in the evaluation process. Do you think a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who is a year removed from a torn Achilles, is a winner? And should they stay put at the quarterback position, or should they go elsewhere, Pete?
Well, I think they should stay put, because I really don't think they have many options if they want to go elsewhere. They're not going to bring Sam Darnold back to the Jets. And you look at the free agent landscape, it's not very good. And where they draft, it's going to be tough to get a quarterback. So I think ideally you stay with Aaron Rodgers. Here's the other part of that equation. He's got a $49 million dead cap hit if they release him. Now, they could spread it out if they designate him post-June 1 and split that up somewhat. But even so, it's a lot of money to pay somebody who's not on your roster. And I think ideally he played well at the end of last season. You look at what he did. He threw the football well down the stretch. It took him a while. I think he really had problems with the Achilles, and if I'm the Jets, I would keep him.
All right, so let's go to the other team in town. We're talking about the Giants, because we know they probably need to draft or sign one, because they're definitely not staying put. I feel like that's safe to say.
Yeah, and I think one of the best options for them would be to go get Sam Darnold. He was in New York. He understands what New York's about. And he had a great season last year for the Vikings. If the Vikings don't bring him back, and it doesn't sound like they will, then I think Sam Darnold's on the free agent market. And if the Giants, want to make a move to go get him, I would do it. You look at the rest of that free agency class, not very good. Wilson, Fields, they have Locke, Winston, Dalton, Flacco. I mean, it's just not a good class. So the clear winner of that class is Sam Darnold. I think the Giants would make sense to go get him, sign him to a contract, and make him your starting quarterback.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields situation in just a moment. But before we do, let's talk about the Raiders, because they just recently introduced Pete Carroll, of course, and John Spytek as the new GM and head coach there. And Pete Carroll looked right at Max Crosby in the crowd during that presser and was saying, hey, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to try and flip this around immediately. We're going to get to work. And of course, if Max Crosby is looking in the eye, you probably feel some pressure to say that to him. But Pete, what should they do at the quarterback position? Because, as you like to remind us, we know that Gardner Minshew is not the answer there.
No, nor is Aiden O'Connell. I think you can't win consistently with those guys as your quarterback. Even though O'Connell played better down the stretch than I think they even expected, they have to find a guy. They have to draft a guy. I think, when you bring Pete Carroll in, you want to draft a quarterback and develop him. He did that with Russell Wilson. Maybe they bring somebody in else for stopgap, although they have those guys on the roster. But I think eventually, if you're the Raiders, you have to find your guy. You have to develop your guy. And I don't think they're going to do that if they go out and sign one of these free agents or stick with the guys they have. So I think they should draft a quarterback. I think, Cam Ward would be in play there. If Sanders were to go first overall, I think Cam Ward's a possibility if teams do pass on Cam Ward.
So, Pete, what does this mean? Because we know the Raiders, they're not there in that top spot. That is the Tennessee Titans. So that begs the question, what are they going to do if the Raiders do trade up and they take Cam Ward? What is their move at quarterback?
Well, I think the Titans are going to take a quarterback. I think, look, the Will Levis thing, and I'm a big Will Levis guy. I do think he needs to get maybe a new home and go learn to play the position a little bit better. Maybe a backup spot for him with the Rams would be great to learn from Matt Stafford and learn that offense, much like Baker Mayfield did. But again, I think they have to draft a quarterback, and I think they will draft a quarterback. I think Shedeur Sanders will be their draft pick. I think he's the better of the two, at least so far in my early evaluation, just watching their games over the course of the season. I think Shedeur Sanders would make a lot of sense for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and a quick follow, Pete, on Will Levis. I was just going to ask, do you think he can go elsewhere and become a starter in the NFL again, or is he just kind of going to be into that backup role here on out? What do you think his future looks like as someone who believes in Will Levis still?
Well, he's got to get around a good team and a good system, and he's also got to get rid of some of his bad habits of trying to be a hero. And I think if he goes to a team like the Rams, where they will get that out of him, and he'd be able to learn from Matt Stafford and be able to go into that offense and understand the concepts and make it easy on him. Everything was tough in Tennessee, and he didn't respond well to it. So I do think he could be a starter again. It's just going to have to be go learn, get rid of your bad habits, and learn how to play the position without trying to be a hero on every play.
Let's go back to the Steelers, because we saw Justin Fields and Russ. They were on that long list of free agent quarterbacks that are coming up. And there is a report out there saying that it's unlikely that Justin Fields and Russ are both going to be on this roster. So what do you think the Steelers do? Do they go with one of those guys for their quarterback for the upcoming season, or do you think they go in a completely different direction?
Well, I think bringing back Fields at a reasonable deal, because I don't think he's going to have a robust market out there, bring him back and draft one. Because at some point you have to develop your own quarterback. And they tried that with Pickett. It didn't work out. Well, go back into the market again and draft another one. And where they're picking, there might be a quarterback there. Jackson Dart is a possibility. He's a guy, when you watch him play, he's got a little bit of that, Bo Nix to his game, and he can throw the football. He's athletic. And if you're the Steelers, at some point you got to get your own guy. When they were good, why were they good? Well, they had Terry Bradshaw, they drafted him. You had Ben Roethlisberger, you drafted him. You got to keep taking swings until you get that guy. If not, you're just piecing it together year in and year out. You might have that season where you make the playoffs, but you're not doing any damage in the playoffs with a Russell Wilson or Justin Fields.
Yeah, having a quarterback like that, and then with your defense carrying you, can only take you so far, and we've seen that time and time again. Pete, we certainly appreciate it, playing quarterback matchmaker for some of those NFL teams out there that have interesting situations when it comes to the quarterback position. Pete, we appreciate it, and of course, CBS Sports HQ, we have got you covered leading up to the Super Bowl, all offseason, ahead of the draft. You can stay with us right here at CBS Sports.
The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, but this year, it feels like anything can happen. Big moves are shaking up the league, and the Dallas Cowboys might be at the center of one of the most unexpected developments. Could a star player be on the way to Dallas? With all the rumors flying around, it's hard to ignore the possibility. And that's exactly why you can't miss a single update. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you stay on top of every move the Cowboys make. What's your gut feeling? Do you think Jerry Jones is planning something big? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about two teams that could unintentionally shake up the Cowboys' plans: the New York Jets and the New York Giants. Both are dealing with serious quarterback dilemmas. The Jets? They're still waiting to see if Aaron Rodgers will be fully ready for next season. And the Giants? They're in a tough spot trying to figure out if Daniel Jones is really their guy or if they need to go all in on a new QB. These uncertainties create a domino effect in the league. Quarterbacks could become available, trade opportunities might pop up, and Dallas could find itself in an interesting position. What do you think? Should the Cowboys go after a high-profile backup QB? Drop your opinion in the comments. Now, let's widen the scope. The Las Vegas Raiders are another team in search of a quarterback, and rumors are heating up that Cam Ward could be their guy. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans are making moves of their own, with speculation that Shedeur Sanders might be on their radar. Why does this matter for the Cowboys? Because every quarterback move shifts the balance of the league. A big-name QB landing in Vegas or Tennessee could push another talented player onto the market. And you know Jerry Jones, he's always watching. Could Dallas pull off a surprise move in free agency? Cowboy Nation, do you think the Cowboys should reinforce the QB position? Vote in the comments. Now, let's get to what really matters. How do all these quarterback moves impact the Cowboys? With so much shifting around the league, could Dallas find itself in a position to make a bold move? First, there's Dak Prescott's contract situation. The front office has a huge decision to make, and any unexpected market changes could influence their approach. Then there's the question of depth. Would Jerry Jones consider bringing in a high-profile backup to push Dak? Or maybe an experienced veteran who could step in if needed? It all comes down to strategy. Should Dallas play it safe or take a calculated risk? If you were Jerry Jones, would you make a change on offense? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. And now, the rumors are starting to heat up. Could the Cowboys be preparing a big move? Some insiders believe a high-profile name could be on the way to Dallas, but who could it be? One theory is that the front office is looking at a veteran quarterback, someone who could push Dak Prescott and, if necessary, take over in critical moments. But there's also speculation that the move could involve a different position, maybe a game-changing weapon for the offense or a dominant presence for the defense. Of course, rumors are just that, rumors. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Could Jerry Jones have something up his sleeve? Turn on notifications so you don't miss any breaking Cowboys news. One thing is certain, the NFL offseason is far from over, and the Cowboys might not be done making moves. There's still time for surprises, and history tells us that Jerry Jones loves a bold headline. Could Dallas be working on something behind the scenes? The coming weeks will be crucial, and anything can happen. A major signing, a trade, or even a shock decision about the future of the team. That's why you need to stay tuned, because the Cowboys' next move could change everything. What's the one signing you think Dallas absolutely must make this offseason? Drop your answers in the comments. I want to hear your takes.